Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to the adventures of a traveling Don. My name is Benjamin O, and today we are in Western Ireland. For the next 2 days, we will be kind of like road tripping around. We are here in the city of Galway for the first day, and then tomorrow we're gonna hit the Cliffs of Moher and that whole western side of that coast down there, south of Galway. But anyway, come on and join the adventure. So when you come to Galway, a great place to come is south side of the town. It's called South Park, and this is massive park that just kind of opens up a bunch of like football fields, and then of course you're right here along the bay area as well. So you just kind of like head down towards the rocky shore and just kind of relax. There's also a long path that goes out to Mutton Island. It's a nice walk. Now, Mutton Island, there's not much out there except a sewage treatment plant, so the goal's really not, you know, amazing, but it's a very, very nice walk, and it puts you out into the bay, so you can get kind of like a nice like 360 view of the bay and of course the coastline of Galway. So it's a nice little spot to come whenever you're in Galway. It's like definitely hit out the South Park area if you're looking for a nice walk or jog in the morning. So really cool.
As long as your foot is on it, my foot is on it,
we've succeeded in our goal of making it to Mutton Island.
We made it to Mutton Island. Last time Michael and I were here, we couldn't make it to Mutton Island. We ran into a storm halfway down the South Park. But anyway, yeah, but even so, it's a nice walk. It's about from end to end, what? I'd say about a mile?
Quarter mile.
Quarter? That's gotta be a half a mile.
That's more than a quarter mile.
That's gonna be half. Anyway, it's a nice walk if you're going there and then back. So really nice. So the history of Galway goes back to the early 12th century when the High King of Ireland built a fort, like a small castle fort, in this area on the bay to oversee the creation of the Irish fleet, and that was where it was harbored until, of course, the sacking of the fort by the Normans when the English came over during the early 12th or early 13th century. And ever since then, that's kind of like where it became such a big trading hub while it was under the English rule. Even today, it is still a big international trading hub. They've got the huge university here that is great for business, and I think it's got the #1 top graduation percentage of any school in Ireland when it comes to the universities. But it's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's a great walking city. The downtown is fantastic, and of course you have the the yard area where you have, of course, a lot of walking paths, Mutton Island, things like that. It's just a great, great city, and of course it's a great food city, which we will definitely get to shortly. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the tour of Galway. So behind me here is the Galway Cathedral, and it's an interesting thing about this. For the major part of the history of Galway, they never had a bishop diocese here. I think 1831 was when it was officially established, and they had a diocese that had no cathedral, which is very rare in the Roman Catholic world, particularly for as long as they had no cathedral. What they ended up doing was in 1957, I believe, is when, 1949 was when they got rights to the old jail that used to be here. They demolished that, and then in 1957 they began the task of constructing this cathedral, which is behind you, which was completed in 1965. So if you look at it, you think, oh, that's a nice neo-Gothic style cathedral. At latest it was finished maybe 1800s. No, this was built and finished in 1965. So it is not that old. It's about 55 years old as of this taping in 2021. So kind of fun fact there for you. this here is the High Street area, and this is kind of where the real hubbub of Galway really happens. I mean, you get live music happening here. You got all the shops, you got all the bars, restaurants, things like that. It's starting to deck out for the holidays too, which is really kind of cool. I think actually the Christmas markets have started, so hopefully we'll be around for that tonight. But anyway, we're gonna check out High Street, and we're going to Kay's for restaurant, so let's get some food. Okay, so we called a bit of an audible on the way to Kay's for lunch because we saw that the King's Head Bistro and Pub was open, which Michael and I had been to 3 years ago when we were here. Originally it said it was closed on Google, so super excited. We're here. It's an 800-year-old building. The pub and bistro itself has been around since the 1600s, and I am super excited. I got the mussels here today. These are local mussels. Haven't had these in a long time since we were here, but oh my goodness, look at all of that stuff. That's fantastic. Cooked in a white wine sauce. That is absolutely amazing. Got a nice little cheeky side of chips to go with that. A huge amount of mussels. This has got to be at least like 1.5 pounds or something like that. It's got potatoes that is cooked in with it as well. Some autumn vegetables. It's really good. So good. So good. So those mussels were delicious. So when you're done with that at King's Head Bistro and Pub, head over, and you want to do some whiskey afterwards, head over to a place called Garavans. Now, King's Head Pub is part of the Galway Whiskey Trail, but Garavans is where it is at. This is, Michael and I did this 3 years ago, just like King's Head, and this is where we do the whiskey tasting. So we're going to do a nice whiskey flight to warm us up. Okay, so I'm here in Garavans Bar with my whiskey flight. So we got 3 different types of whiskey. They've got about 4 or 5 different sets that you can do. I got the Irish Riders, so we're going to start with the Green Spot right here. It's a pot still whiskey. A nice little sweet peppermint kind of like aroma, which is really nice. It's kind of a sweet finish. It's actually really nice. It's not too bad. It's not too harsh on the back end. That's actually good. Alright, the next one is the Jack Ryan's 12 Year. I think they cast these in bourbon barrels, so you're going to have a little bit of a bourbon bite. More of a citrus flavor on the nose there. Yep, that definitely has more of that, bourbon style burn, but you do have kind of like a little bit of like tropical notes, maybe a little passion fruit, and then of course it's like smoke on the back end, which is nice. And then you got Yellow Spot here. This is the 3rd one. And this is a 12-year-old as well. Now that's the smoothest of the 3. That's really nice. That's yeah, that goes down really well. But anyway, yeah, if you're ever in Galway and you're looking for some good Irish whiskey, come to Garavans. They do great. They've got, I think, like 130 different types of Irish whiskey that you can choose from. And it's kind of cool because they give you a little kind of like envelope that has, let me see if I can find mine, but you get a little bit of an envelope that has all these tasting notes in there. And it's kind of like a souvenir because each one is customized for that specific whiskey, and they make it in the time that you order. So it's actually, it's kind of a cool little thing to take home with you. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this whiskey, then we'll go back outside. Okay, so you've had your food, you've had some whiskey. Now, what do you finish off the afternoon with? / coming on the evening? You finish off with some ice cream. And we're gonna go to Murphy's Ice Cream because that is the best ice cream, personally, that I and my brother think here in Galway. So let's go get some ice cream. Bye. Okay, so I got honeycomb caramel and the dingle sea salt. So we're gonna start off with the honeycomb caramel. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. It's a little bit of, actually got nice, decent sized chunks of honeycomb in there. It's actually really good. All right, we'll go for the sing salt now. Nice dingle sea salt.
Brown bread and the cookie that house. Yeah, it's delicious, isn't it?
Nothing better than to finish off an afternoon with some whiskey, and then with a little bit of Irish fresh ice cream. That's so good. So one thing I forgot to pack was a scarf. So I'm looking for a scarf here at the Aran wool store. But gotta find myself a nice little cozy scarf for later on when we get onto the mainland. I think it's a hell of a lot colder going into Germany. So I'm on the hunt. Okay, so I think we found the scarf that we wanted. Gray to go with the black here. Just solid regular color. Was that a little bit too dramatic, James?
Needs more flair.
No, it needs more flair. Let me try that again. Whew. Yes. And then the cap on.
Shadow me.
This does look really good though. Like I think this will be fine. It's warm enough, so I'm gonna be all warm and toasty for my Europe trip. So let's do this. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that tour of Galway from what you saw. The food, the whiskey, the ice cream was absolutely fantastic. And now I will see you guys in the morning when we head towards the Cliffs of Moher. All right, see you in the morning, guys. And we are here at the Cliffs of Moher. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. It is windy as all heck. We're at a yellow wind warning. So if you're ever here for a yellow wind warning, make sure you bring a buddy so you can link arms and weigh each other down. But anyway, I told you we'd get to the cliffs, and this is the beautiful Cliffs of Moher of Ireland. Some resistance training. Come here when you have a north wind coming down and climb up the steps. That's a freaking workout. So the Cliffs of Moher started forming around 320 million years ago from what I was able to read. And it's a wonderful natural marvel. It's I think it's the second most visited site in all of Ireland. I forget what's the first one. Maybe just Dublin itself? But anyway, it's the #1 on the Wild Atlantic Way, which stretches the entire western side of Ireland, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you ever get the chance, definitely take the entire Wild Atlantic Way. I've hit parts of it, Donegal, you got Sleeve League, places like that, Doolin, which is just north of here along this part of the coast, but it's absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Definitely take a look at that. But I don't even know if you can hear me with all that wind. I do apologize about that, but it is, there's nothing I can really do about it. But it is, it's even worth fighting the wind. Absolutely gorgeous. So while you're at the Cliffs of Moher, make sure that you come into the visitor center. Not only do you have a cafe to get something to eat if you need to, and of course the gift shop, but there's also upstairs, there's an exhibition center which has kind of like all the information you'll ever need about the Cliffs of Moher, which is really kind of cool. It's like the geological history, the fauna, the flora that's around here, the different species of animals, particularly the birds that nest along the cliffs. And even further up, there's a thing called the Ledge Experience, which is kind of like this 3D virtual reality video that takes you along the cliffs and even underwater. It was actually a really, really cool video. But anyway, yeah, definitely when you're at the Cliffs of Moher, definitely take a stop into the visitor center. Well worth it. All right, so for lunch, I want to warm up, so I got myself the seafood chowder, which actually got some salmon there with a little bit of seaweed as well in that too, which I think is the first time I've ever had a chowder with seaweed, so try that. Oh, steamy. That's good. There's a lot of seafood in, excuse me, a lot of seafood in this as well. That is very, very hefty for the price. I think it was about €8 for the amount of seafood in here. This is fantastic. All right, so the last little thing I got was for dessert. I got myself Hazel Mountain Irish chocolate with dark chocolate with seaweed added into it. So, it's about 67% cacao, so it's not overly strong. They do have some saltiness to it. That's really good. Everybody else tried it. What'd you guys think?
Very good. Excellent, excellent chocolate.
I love it.
Great taste.
Yeah. Good stuff. O certified. Okay, so that was the Cliffs of Moher. That was absolutely fantastic. It was very windy, but it wasn't super chilly. It was about, what, 8 degrees Celsius, which I think is 45-ish, mid-40s, upper 40s, something like that. The wind was what really got you, but even still, that was a lot of fun. As you can see, the wind, hello. Whoa! But that was a lot of fun. And definitely, if you're ever up in Western Ireland, excuse me, definitely make sure to check out the Cliffs of Moher. It is worth it in any kind of weather, as long as it is good enough weather to be open. Anyway, we are onwards to Limerick. We had a little bit of a tire issue last night, so we have a spare on currently that we gotta go get that fixed, and then we'll go from there. So onwards to the next point. All right, so we just stopped in Limerick to get the car fixed. So we had the storm coming, so we came straight back to the place that we're staying at, and this is right down the road. This is a barbecue called De Roche. It looks really cool. It's kind of like just a little Irish style smokehouse pub, but they do barbecue here. And honestly, they do American style barbecue, because my plate just came out and it is huge. This is called the Three Little Piglets. This is basically a sampler platter of pulled pork. You have massive, this is a half rack of ribs that you see there. And then of course, the dirty chorizo fries. So I don't even know where to start, but I'm just gonna go with the pork with a little bit of like house sourdough bread underneath. Try a little pulled pork and oh, that's very good. Very good. Yeah, apparently there's 2 cooks that kind of like work this and own this place. One of them is Irish from Limerick. The other one is American though. So hence why you have the American size freaking barbecue. I'm gonna try these cheese fries with a little bit of chorizo on there. Oh yeah. Get a little bit of that there for you. That's good. Yeah, that's nice smoked chorizo. I'm gonna guess Spanish chorizo. That's really good. And now, look at the big boy, and get into. I'll pull off just a little bit of that. Pull off a little bit of that pork. This is the rib right here. Nice smoke flavor. And I think that's I consider that more of a Midwest style barbecue sauce. It's a little bit on the sweeter side, not as vinegary as maybe like North Carolina would be, but Really nice. Very nice. So, if you're ever in the Portumna area, come down to Darosh Barbecue. Particularly if you're from the south and you know your barbecue. This is actually really, really good for Ireland. Well done.